Did you know that a single historical concept could be the key to understanding the future of global power? We're talking about something so significant that it was brought up in a private meeting between President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping, right in the heart of Beijing. This isn't just another political soundbite. It's a warning from history, and ignoring it could have devastating consequences for the United States and the entire world. Before we dive deeper into this potentially world-altering idea, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in U.S. politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow and allows us to bring you more in-depth analysis like this. So what exactly is this Thucydides trap that President Xi Jinping brought up with President Trump? The term comes from the ancient Greek historian Thucydides, who wrote about the Peloponnesian War between Athens and Sparta in the 5th century BC. Thucydides famously argued that it was the rise of Athens and the fear that this inspired in Sparta that made war inevitable. In essence, the Thucydides trap describes the dangerous dynamic that arises when a rising power threatens to displace an established, dominant power. The fear and insecurity generated by this shift in power, even if unintended, can lead to miscalculation, escalation, and ultimately, conflict. Now, fast forward over 2,000 years, and this historical observation is being applied directly to the relationship between the United States and China. President Xi Jinping, in his meeting with President Trump, framed the core challenge for both nations as whether they could avoid falling into this trap. He posed the question, can the U.S. and China overcome the Thucydides trap and forge a new paradigm of major country relations? This isn't just diplomatic language. It's a stark acknowledgement of the immense pressure and potential for conflict inherent in the current global power structure. The United States, for decades, has been the undisputed global superpower. However, China's rapid economic and military ascent has presented a significant challenge to that dominance. As China's influence grows, so does the perception of threat from established powers like the U.S. This is precisely the dynamic that Thucydides identified. It's not necessarily about aggressive intentions, but rather the inherent instability created when one power's rise is perceived as an existential threat by another. What does this mean for you and for the United States? It means that the current geopolitical landscape is far more precarious than many realize. The trade disputes, the diplomatic tensions, the competition for technological supremacy, these are all playing out against the backdrop of this fundamental power struggle. The Thucydides trap suggests that these tensions are not merely temporary disagreements, but are symptomatic of a deeper, more dangerous structural problem in international relations. Who is affected? Everyone. The consequences of a major power conflict between the U.S. and China would be catastrophic, impacting global trade, security, and the very fabric of international cooperation. It could lead to economic collapse, regional wars, and a prolonged period of global instability. For American citizens, this could translate into higher prices, job losses, and a more dangerous world for our children. The possible outcomes are stark. On one hand, both nations could find a way to manage their competition, to establish clear rules of engagement, and to foster a degree of cooperation where interests align, thereby avoiding the trap. This would require immense diplomatic skill, strategic foresight, and a willingness on both sides to prioritize de-escalation over confrontation. On the other hand, a failure to navigate this challenge could lead to a spiral of mistrust and escalation, potentially culminating in a conflict that neither side may truly want, but one that history suggests is a very real possibility. The urgency of this question cannot be overstated. It was raised by the leader of a nation that is actively challenging the existing world order, directly to the leader of the nation that currently defines it. This is not a hypothetical academic exercise. It is a live, critical issue that is shaping the decisions made in the halls of power right now. Understanding the Thucydides trap is crucial to understanding the stakes involved in the U.S. China relationship and, indeed, the future of global peace and prosperity. So what do you think about this? Is the Thucydides trap an inevitable historical force, or can humanity learn from the past and forge a new path? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one. This is a conversation we all need to be having.